we're excited about your talk. They said they will be more than happy to meet you later in a dark alley where nobody's looking. So just keep your eyes open. We're going to have the next session, and the name of the next session is Can We Secure Everything? Which is a very interesting name to give after Ilan's presentation. But the person that we're going to invite to moderate this session definitely have a lot to say about this topic. So the Vice President, Products of Check Point, Dr. Dorit. The stage is yours.
Where is there is clicker, very good. Hi everyone, my name is Dorit. I manage the products and technologies for Check Point in the past something like 23 years. And I'm not just gonna bring trivial answers to this, especially because I have 4 distinguished people that are going to talk about many different aspects, and I wanted to start the discussion in showing different angles of this kind of dilemma. So let's start, can we secure everything? So I start by asking, what's special about cyber? Can we secure everything in real life? Is it a question that you ask? When you fly or when you cross the road, forget the cyber, forget the software updates on the plane. Is it all safe? Can the pilot commit suicide? Can the car crash on you even if it's not autonomous car because the car driver was drunk? Is my money safe in the bank really? I mean, didn't we see anything where money from the bank disappeared somehow or people lost all kind of money that was not insured? And are my kids safe when they go visit a new friend? So it's true that when the friend is over the internet, it may be different, but they're also kind of risky. So the general answer, can we secure everything, before we go to cyber, is definitely no. Because if we couldn't secure it in real life, I'm not sure why we think we could secure it in the internet. But, when we what we mean by saying secure, what we mean by can we secure everything in cyber, and do we have a different expectation that all of a sudden, when we come to cyber, everything would be locked up? I don't think so. I think we have a realistic expectation, and when we ask, can we secure everything, we don't need that mathematical thing that we could really secure everything all the time. It's about risks, and we will also have some of the speakers speak about this. So what can I do else in this introduction? I can talk about what happened in 2017 with few quite dramatic attacks, with WannaCry, with Equifax. I'll talk about Equifax as an example in a second. It's actually led the World Economic Forum to declare cybersecurity as a very important, critical threat to deal with. So when we come to secure something, at least we know that it's very important. So taking it from this level and combining it kind of on the speech of the last speaker, even though I didn't know what they would speak about, then if we say today that we are Gen 5 attacks, and if the world is somewhere like Gen 2.8, and I could explain how we got to this understanding, but we went to many people and we gave them the definitions of generation and we checked where they are, and it's practically quite clear that they are somewhere between 2 and 4, when 2 and 3, when the world is really at 5. So definitely, we are not even trying to be secure, which is what the previous speaker spoke about, but that was introduced. So now I want to speak a few seconds about, can we secure even the things we know? And I want to take 2 examples. One example would be Equifax. Equifax is credit kind of validation. If you are a US citizen and you want to take a loan, then you'll have to answer a few questions, like who's your mother, where you were born, which school you learned at. And there are very few companies that hold the data. And guess what? The data was stolen. So now, if I was a US citizen and now somebody wanted to take a mortgage on my name, They would just call in, they would say they are Dorit Dor. When asked what's the name of my mother, they may have been able to find it out in all kind of social way. When they wanted to find out in which school I learned, they may be able to find this out, etc., etc. And guess what? They are approved the loan. And few months later, I'm going to get a call that I have a debt. I didn't know anything about it. And now the place of this is, how do we fix it? Because I'm not going to change the name of my mother, and I'm not going to change the name of my school. And the whole system was built so that it will be easy enough for me to remember what to answer. So yes, we could send all the Americans to the bank to show their face, but they not always have an ID. Or we could get them to give fake answers, but this is a whole sequence of problems. So this is a hard to fix problem. So this is something we know, but how we fix it? Can we secure everything? The other example, very quickly, something we call misfortune cookie. A few years back, we did an analysis, checked what ports are open to the internet, checked what is on this internet port, found 12 million routers open to the internet that had some web server on them that was open to the internet that could have been taken off by one packet, meaning I send one packet and I become the owner for each one of these 12 million routers. Why? The telco gave a router, these are many vendors' routers, they all have a chipset. The chipset had an open source web server that has a vulnerability of cookies, meaning the writer of this web server assumed there would be 10 cookies, but never checked, so I could send the 100 cookie and attack the web server. And guess what? Before we found this, there were already many years that this vulnerability existed on this web server and was known and was fixed. But it was fixed in the open server, in the open source code. It never got back to the chipset and never got from the chipset to the router. And the telcos never replaced the router due to this. So a year after we notified the telcos, the router vendors, and all the food chain that these 12 million routers are very easily approachable, what did they do? They announced the routers' end of life, okay? But the routers remain. There are still millions of routers out there that they can take with a packet, one packet. So when we ask, can we secure everything? So let's assume in this case, we could secure it, but at what cost? Are we willing to pay the price? Is the telco willing to send people to all these houses? Because there is also no penalty, because we all know about it, and nothing is earth-shaking as a result of this. So not always the question of can we secure it is the right mathematical question. And with this, I'm trying to open up the discussion. It's not all about the mathematical fact, yes or no, can we secure it, because we also can secure in real life. And it's not even can we secure the things we know of, because there may be a high price to change the whole loan system in the US. By the way, you could do one thing in the US. You could block your credit score. If you block your credit score, you cannot get credit, but now nobody could get credit on your name either. However, you could give the instruction for a limited time, and after that time, your score is open. So every few months, you have to block your own credit score in the US if you really want to protect yourself against the Equifax attack. And if not, the damage is that somebody could take a loan on your name, and you'd have to fight it back. So with all this, yes, we have method to defend many things, and I could be offended from the previous speaker because I'm a security company and I have a lot of technology, and we will not talk about how this technology works, and if it was another vendor, he would show you another slide. But there are many things that are harder to block, and that is even before we talked about the edge of things. And with that, I want to open up and call the first speaker. We have a very distinguished list of speakers in the panel today. I'm going to call Bruce Schneier. He's a fellow Howard Kennedy School of Government, internationally renowned security technologist. I know Bruce for many years. He's a top speaker, and he's going to talk to you about the world of IoTs. So Bruce,